Hello, so this video is a remake of a video that I already did, and I just wanted to make a couple changes to the video, but don't worry about it too much. So today we're going to be drawing my OC Jax, and yes, I stole that name from the Amazing Digital Circus because it just fit my characters super well, and finding names for characters is really hard, so I just took it from one of my favorite shows and it fit, so why not? So Jax's story is a love story, but it is one of the tragic variety, unfortunately. Basically, biology prevents him from being with his lover. And you probably noticed that it's a fantasy world from the horns and the pointy ears, so I get to make up my own rules about biology in this universe. Jax is a humanoid dragon creature called an Itorium, and Itoriums are supposed to have wings, but Jax doesn't. His wings never fully developed in the womb, so he just has buds on his back, and he constantly gets teased for having undeveloped wings. These undeveloped wings come from a medical deformity. But this part of the story is very important because it sets up his desperation for validation. While his biology is getting in the way of him being with his lover, he refuses to let that happen and he tries to find a solution despite that. All of this when he could have just given up and found validation elsewhere. And the whole reason for this is because deep in his psyche he knows that he's not going to be able to get validation anywhere else because of his medical deformity that he can't control. So Jax's story is very tragic, and it talks about how he hangs on to this love story that is literally biologically impossible, or, supposedly biologically impossible, simply because of a medical deformity he has growing up. But moving on to his lover is named Vachelle, and I'm not going to get into too much detail about her, but she is a feather type person. She is based off the hooded pitahoo bird. She has a black and orange color scheme with all black eyes, and she has beautiful eyelashes. I love her design so much, but it's really difficult to draw, so unfortunately I do not have any digital drawings of her. I have traditional drawings, but I do not have digital, so moving on to the time lapse that's happening on screen, you can see that I am currently doing the line work. I am almost done with it. As for the meaning behind this drawing, the flowers that I drew represent death, and this is the tragic ending of the story. I'm not entirely sure which way it's going to go yet, but this is the sad ending where he dies and he doesn't get to recover. And this is where the flowers kind of take back his body and he's decomposing back into the ground. That's at least what it represents, because I'm not going to draw him decomposing because that is gross. I'm not doing that. The happy ending with them finding a solution to their problem and being able to live happily ever after, but I haven't quite figured that ending out yet, so we're gonna, try and figure that out real quick. But it's a lot more difficult to figure out a happy storyline than it is to figure out a sad storyline, so we're just drawing the sad storyline for right now, because, sad storylines are a lot more fun anyway. Also, for those of you who are curious, yes, Jax is my profile picture and he is the face of this channel. That's simply because I am very proud of the design work that I did on this character, so I decided to make him the face of my channel. Now you can see we're moving on to drawing. You can see me doing this colorful shading method. I don't really do this coloring shading method anymore. I might bring it back eventually because I really like the coloring shading method, but I don't know. Tell me if you guys like it. I did this kind of shading when I didn't really know what color theory was, and now that I kind of know what color theory is a little bit more, I try and avoid using it, but I really like how it looks, so I might just use it anyway, despite knowing what color theory is, simply because, if it looks good, it looks good. Now you can see me moving on to the hair, which is, he dyes it as a form of rebellion against the other Itoriums in his tribe, I guess. He does it as a way of saying, well, if you want to accept me at my best, then you'll get me at my worst. So that's just kind of what he does. He kind of acts out a little bit. He doesn't really follow the rules. He likes getting his energy out. He has a lot of suppressed energy, unfortunately. He's kind of ADHD like that. Seriously though, he probably should get tested for ADHD because he probably has it. I'm currently writing the story of Jax, and I am going to post it online whenever I get the chance. I'm going to link it in my link tree whenever it comes out, don't worry. Actually, speaking of my link tree, make sure to check out my link tree and the links in my link tree. I have my art account linked in there and a couple of my other writing accounts and my commissions as well if you are curious about those. I will be posting more about Jax on this channel, so if you're curious about Jax and his backstory, please make sure to subscribe. And if you're curious about any of my other characters, please go check out my other videos to see what kind of characters I have. Thank you so much for watching and supporting this small hobby of mine.